Hello everyone, my name is Aditya Tripathy. I am from SCR 2015 batch and I am here with my presentation on CTRB and its POH in Jamalpur workshop. The word CTRB stands for cartridge tapered roller bearing and its main function is to support axial as well as radial forces. Now, talking about the POH, RDSO provides G81 manual which is followed for POH in Jamalpur workshop. We'll talk about the POH in detail in the later half of this video. So first we'll talk about the CTRB section. The CTRB section in Jamalpur workshop has a total of 40 working staff. As you can see, we have listed it below. Apart from this, the work in the section is carried out in two time shifts. That is the general shift, which is from 700 hours in the morning to 1500 hours, and the stagger shift from 1200 hours to 2000 hours. That was a basic introduction to the shop. Now we'll talk about CTRB and its components. So the CTRB has the following components: cup, cone, spacer ring, cage, rollers, wear ring, end cap and cap screw. So here's an expanded view of the cartridge tapered roller bearing, and the image is taken from the G81 manual. So we can clearly see the different parts of the CTRB. The adapter, as you can see, is not a part of CTRB. Instead, it's a part of the Casnell bogie. Now we'll talk about the defects in CTRB. So the listed 5 are the most common damages found in cartridge tapered roller bearing. I'll give a brief information about each of them, starting with brenneling. So brenneling is a permanent indentation on a hard surface. Pitting. Pitting is appearance of small potholes or depressions on a surface. Rusting, as we all know, is a surface getting affected with rust. Flaking. Now flaking is falling off of small fragments that we call flakes from the surface. Broken. Broken is when a crack appears in any of the components of the CTRB. Here are the samples containing the 5 listed defects. So far we have covered CTRB, its components and the various defects found commonly in the CTRB, and now we'll discuss about the POH of the CTRB. POH, the word POH stands for periodic overhauling, which is carried out after 6 years for the first time and then 4.5 years for the subsequent POH, particularly for the case of CTRB. So this is the flowchart provided by RDSO in G81 manual, and we'll discuss the following procedure in detail. The same flowchart is explained point-wise. I am going to discuss each of the following steps separately. First of all, dismounting. Dismounting is basically removal of CTRB from the axle, and it is done at the very entrance of the wheel shop. In Jamalpur workshop, a machine called hydraulic trolley mounted extractor is used to dismount the CTRB. As it goes by the name, it works on the principle of hydraulic pressure and is capable of exerting 100-ton load while extracting and 70-ton load while installing CTRB. This is the image of an hydraulic trolley mounted extractor. The second step is dismantling. It is done with the help of a dismantling machine. All the components are separated and are sent for cleaning and inspection. Components like seal are essentially needed to be changed. So I have included a video of dismantling. So we can see this is a CTRB placed on the dismantling machine. So what we basically do is, first of all, we mount the CTRB on its cup. Now this rod, it is known as prybar, and it is used to dismantle the CTRB. So as we can see, the end cap and the cone have been dismantled. And similarly, the entire assembly gets dismantled. So we have different components now, which could be sent for cleaning. The third step is the cleaning, and it is performed in the cleaning plant. It works on a 24-minute cycle in which it uses Orion 355, Orion 334 and Orion 500 for washing, rinsing and rust prevention respectively. This is an image of the cleaning plant. The next step is inspection, which involves the following 4 inspections: visual and dimensional checking of cup, cone, spacer ring, and bench lateral play checking. As mentioned earlier, in the CTRB sections, we have certain workstations. So here is the workstation for visual and dimensional checking of the cup. This one is for the cone. I've included a video for the dimensional checking of cone. And this workstation is for the visual and dimensional checking of the spacer ring. Next we have is bench lateral play checking. So I've included another video for this. The instrument basically measures the highest depression that occurs along the circumference of the CTRB. Now the next step is lubrication. Grease is used for lubrication. 400 grams of grease is filled and a tolerance of plus minus 30 grams is acceptable. The grease gets spreaded evenly upon rotation of the assembly. So we'll see a video on this. This machine fills 400 grams of grease into the assembly. As we can see, the grease is not evenly filled. So what we do is we shut the assembly and put it into a rotation. So the rotation causes the grease to spread evenly. As mentioned earlier, seals are needed to be changed. So the used seals are discarded and the new grease seals are fitted. Here's the image of the grease filling machine as we've already seen. And this one is the grease seal fitting machine. The above mentioned processes are performed on this workstation. The next step is packing. CTRB is packed with a polythene cover to avoid the entry of dust, and it is of specific dimension, measuring 600 mm along the length, 400 mm along the width, and is 0.127 mm thick. This workstation is where the packing is done. And the final step is mounting. That is the mounting of CTRB on the axle of wheel, and it is done by the help of bearing mounting machine. So this is the final step of the POH. This is the image of the bearing mounting machine, which is capable of exerting a load of 50 ton to 80 ton while mounting the CTRB. So this was all about the POH. I hope this video was informative. Thank you.